But first, a temporary fix for the blocked airport runway in Dansville comes under scrutiny.
Instead of landing on the end of the runway, they will move it about 1,000 feet down.
Obviously, having less landing space available for aircraft just reduces the safety margin that currently exists.
New at 6, a News 10 NBC investigation follow-up. 6 months after we first told you about a standoff over the protected airspace at the Dansville Airport due to a couple of cranes, the town is considering a temporary solution. But it's one that some aviation people aren't thrilled with, and one that may end up costing the local taxpayers thousands of dollars. At the heart of the issue, these cranes. As you can see from this pilot's cockpit video, they're blocking the approach to the runway at the Dansville Airport. The cranes belong to LMC Industrial Contractors. The company says it needs the cranes to offload steel from rail cars. The town advised LMC it's violating the local zoning laws. But rather than force the removal of the cranes, it gave the company 6 months to come up with a solution, and instead shut down the runway from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily, even on days when the cranes aren't in use.
It's been 6 months since I've been down here, and it doesn't really look like much has changed. No, not really, not very much. We're still in a stalemate situation with the company.
But now, town leaders, with the permission of the FAA, have come up with a temporary fix. Shorten the runway.
Instead of landing on the end of the runway, they will move it about 1,000 feet down, and all this paint structure will be moved down there.
Lafford says by aiming further down the runway, pilots will be high enough to miss the cranes on approach. But shortening the runway will require repainting the runway striping and changing out the edge lighting.
How much will it cost to make these modifications?
It's going to cost about $25,000 to remove these stripes and repaint the stripes 1,000 feet down the runway.
It's not clear who will pay for the runway changes. In an email, the town supervisor says no decisions have been made and they are exploring several options. Who do you think is going to pay for this?
Sadly, I believe the residents of Dansville are going to have to pay for this.
Sean Collins is Eastern Regional Manager of the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. I asked him what he thought of the temporary solution.
What that will do is shorten the usable runway length and allow for aircraft to operate it off the runway daily, which is, I guess, an improvement. But losing about 1,000 feet of runway space will degrade safety and also degrade utility of the airport.
The town has given LMC 6 more months to come up with a permanent plan. The CFO from LMC did not respond to my request for comment.
What is the likelihood that this becomes the permanent solution?
I think on that one, your guess is as good as mine. I'm really hoping that that's not going to happen, because that would really, long term, it would cripple the airport.
The closing of the runway has already had an economic impact on the airport operations. Lafford says they've lost 2 tenants who rent hangar space due to the limits on when the pilots can fly. They've also seen a drop in refueling sales.